Hi, everyone. Welcome again to Money Talks with Lynn Kitchen. I'm so delighted. Hey, what is one word, 5 letters, starts with an S, ends with an S, and that word upon which everything depends in business, in growth, in investing, in everything entrepreneurial? What's the one word? I know that you know. And we are here to talk about that one word today, and it is sales. Sales, sales, everything sales. We're going to be talking today about everything sales, and I'm absolutely delighted to have a special guest to introduce to you today, Jennifer Frye. Hi, Jennifer.
I
How are
am
you?
fantastic, Lynn. How are you?
I'm delighted to have you today because sales is not only your
Mhm.
specialty, but it is the one thing that I believe uh, pivots upon everything else does pivot. Would you
A
agree with
hundred
that?
percent. I believe that
100%.
there are zero problems in a business that more revenue cannot solve, and generate more
Exactly
revenue
right.
with more sales. And I'll tell you, for
That's
life too,
right.
there's a lot. There's very few problems that more revenue cannot solve in personal lives as well. But that's a whole nother podcast. We can do that another time.
Yeah, that well, let's talk about this from the perspective of investing, which everyone here is interested in. I, as a investing strategist and coach, am interested in helping people really learn what is a good
Mhm.
investment. And when we take a look at analyzing any investment, there are really 4 things that a management team does well or does not do well. And you can measure these 4 things. And these are the results of all of these decisions throughout a whole year. And every you all know this, but what it really comes down to, it filters down to, is earnings per share, book value per share, and several other components there. And the fourth of which, and the most important, is sales. So the sales of any corporation, and you all know this as entrepreneurs, sales drives your
Mhm.
success. And so as an investor, the one thing that we look for, or we talk about, is earnings per share, price earnings. But the bigger idea is price to sales. What are the sales? How constant are the sales? What is the quality of the sales that then creates the quality of the earnings underneath? And this is a topic that very few people really understand and they don't talk about too much. And that's why I'm delighted to have Jennifer, who is a sales specialist, with us today. Let me tell you a little bit about her. Jennifer is the CEO of Appreciated Asset Business Solutions. I love anything with the word appreciated. Appreciated, meaning anything that goes up is appreciated in value. When you appreciate something, your appreciation grows, the appreciation of everything grows. And so we're going to be talking about appreciating sales today. Now, Jennifer has her own business, and it is a specialty business helping other entrepreneurs, businesses of all size, increase their sales, not just at any kind of level, but what she is famous for is disrupting how sales are made so that one increases the quality of your sales, the longevity of your sales, the relationship impact of your sales. And as we know, that is going to be what increases the value of any corporation over time, whether you're just beginning, whether you're a medium-sized corporation, or whether you're a large-sized corporation. And so I'm delighted to have Jennifer here to talk to us about what does it mean to disrupt your sales and to have some kind of a system by which you can determine how to increase your sales, increase the profitability of your company, increase the value of your company so that investors can be more interested in you. Am I right about all this,
You are
Jennifer?
spot on.
Spot on. Okay. So, Jennifer, please tell everyone listening, who many of whom are entrepreneurs, others who are investors, and we want to just kind of drill down, if you don't mind, into this topic of sales. You have had a background corporate at first, and now you are helping corporations increase their sales. Could you just please talk from the top down? What is your philosophy of the word sales, that 5 letter word starting with S, ending in S, sales?
So
Makes the world
it
go
sure does.
round.
I've been in sales in some sort of sales role my entire career and all the way back to my childhood, but again, separate podcast. Um, what I've realized is that there are so many sales stories that people have. I'm not good at sales. I don't like sales. Sales is gross. What I ask people, and I ask this of my team, my clients, and myself constantly, is would you consider the idea that it is not your job to sell anyone anything? That sounds disruptive, right? From someone who owns a sales
Yes.
company. But it's really not.
Yes.
It's I don't want to sell anyone anything. I don't want to close anybody. And I was trained in New York City with the best of the best for sales training in learning how to handle objections and how to get people to the close. And I was good at it. But what I learned about following those formulas and those routines is it gets you transactions, but it does not build your relationships. So back to the idea that you shouldn't sell anyone anything. You have a solution, you know it's helpful, you know it's useful, you know it will matter in someone else's life. It is your responsibility to reach out to those individuals or those businesses and educate them about who you are and how you can help them. All you need to do is introduce yourself, educate them about what you do that is so vastly different from maybe any preconceived misconceptions they may have, and then let that conversation organically take place from there. And you do that by staying in curiosity, not making any assumptions about the person on the other line, but also having the conviction that you are there to serve and that what you have is so valuable that you would be doing them a disservice to not let them know about it.
I love that. So it reminds me of being of service, but also it reminds me of the crucial underpinnings of communication. Because if you have, as you mentioned, if you have a value that you're basing your
Mm-hmm.
business, you have a methodology of creating value in your business, uh, you need to communicate that value, right? And you need to extend to someone an offer that will improve their life. And so, where is it that people have this disconnect? What has happened when we look at sales and we are always measuring sales and the viability of sales over a quarterly and annually? There's so much pressure, right, on that kind of performance. What is it that you are seeing from your perspective um, that is not only fueling that, but how can an entrepreneur uh, change that, disrupt that
Yeah.
thinking pattern of that pressure?
Again, this may feel disruptive by saying this, but I really focus on quality over quantity. And by creating that focus, I am able to increase our quantity as well.
Quality over
Right.
quantity. I love that.
So, making sure that we are only having sales conversations with businesses that are pre qualified, with businesses that have the
Pre-qualified.
revenue to
Mhm.
support the solution, with businesses that have the direct need that we can easily vocalize. When you do that, you need
So
less activity to create better results. And then you don't feel that frenzy,
that's
right?
fascinating. Yeah. So that's fascinating. So pre-qualification then seems to be an important
Yeah, and
topic.
I think one of the biggest pre-qualifiers is revenue, that people, you know, they don't want to exclude anyone. They don't want to miss any opportunities, and you certainly won't. But when you're talking about a direct sales outreach strategy, now that's different from marketing, right? Sales and marketing need to exist side by side and they should have synergies, but you need two separate plans. When you're talking about a direct sales outreach strategy, you have to make sure that the quality that you are looking at, that the people that you are approaching, where there's going to be conversations happening that don't talk about money. Again, that's going to sound strange, but I don't have conversations with prospective clients where they are concerned about the budget. And the reason is I only speak with clients at certain revenue levels. And if they're in other revenue levels, we talk about other offerings, and I don't even extend an offer for our concierge level service because I a price should never be an objection. It's such a simple objection that if you are hearing that, you're not speaking to the right people.
That's interesting. So, price is usually the number one objection that we always listen for and that we're trained for as salespeople and so forth in any business. Because even if we are a one person shop, it falls on our shoulders to be carry all of the different hats, wear all the different hats, carry all the different balls, be the salesperson. So what I hear you saying is that you want to make sure that price is not at all in the conversation so that you don't have to get good at that objection or overcoming that objection. So you pre-qualify people to make sure that you are speaking to people who are already qualified in terms of their revenue ability to purchase whatever it is, the goods or service that you have to offer, which then begs the question. I guess we can back up from there and say, well, then if you are only pre-qualifying and speaking to those people who are pre-qualified, you don't have to be chasing people. You don't have to be then
Yeah.
convincing
And
people, right? And so you don't have to be wasting
yeah, I
that
want to add
energy.
this in too, though. The reason that
Yeah.
price is never a part of the conversation in our sales calls is because we also, beyond only speaking with clients of the revenue, we are also able to monetize our solution in a way that is such a no brainer for our clients that, again, they see it very clearly as an investment rather than an expense. And
I
so
see.
we can
Good. So
monetize it.
the value, it's a value
Yeah, and very
proposition.
clearly show that, you know, our minimum ROI is a 10x minimum for our clients. And so when we take them through that journey and really show them specifically to them and their business how that works, it it makes perfect sense from a business decision.
I see. So then that means that you are helping people realize the value creation idea that by means of saying yes to whatever service or product that you have will create value for them on a 10x basis over that. And so therefore that only adds to their bottom line, it adds to their revenue, it adds to their return on investment, it adds to their earnings per share, and so forth and so on. So are you concerned a lot about helping an entrepreneur really see that that is how sales really should be, rather than the going idea now of trying to gun the
Yeah.
sales, which is in Wall Street
Sure.
anyway. uh, we very much have this pressure. It's a pressure cooker on Wall Street for companies to be always increasing their earnings every quarter, right? They have sales targets every quarter, every year. And so there's always a lot of pressure to, have those kinds of numbers to substantiate the price of the investment. So, how do you actually help entrepreneurs move in the direction of increasing a quarterly plan? Are you working with the entrepreneur in such a way that there's a long-term plan that you can really help an entrepreneur
Yeah.
see uh, the long-term journey
Yeah,
working
we
with you?
absolutely create long term strategies for our clients and implement in phases. So, we work with relationships, like I said, rather than transactions. And what that means is that our clients that come on with us have managed expectations. We ask, with the clients we work with, we have a 6 month minimum commitment because we want
Okay.
to start the relationship and maintain the relationship in full transparency that this takes time. There's building block formation, and we may have to make adjustments early in, which will alter that timeline. And so, by doing that and managing those expectations, keeping clear communication open and constant, client check ins, things like that, and remaining available for our clients to meet with us when they need more information and being accessible in that way, we create a roadmap for them and we continue to
Excellent.
develop that. So we do the outreach, we do the appointment setting and the sales outreach, and our clients love offboarding that. But then we also work with them to look at other channels that they can also bring in business. But you mentioned about earnings and quarters and the pressure. I have the pressure. I mean, I have very high expectations for myself and my company, and so I feel it. But what I also know is that it is consistent daily activity and effort that creates results. And it creates
Aha. Now we're getting down to the
time.
nitty
It
gritty
creates
here.
results 3 months, 6 months down the line. So if you want to look at your pipeline today, you look at it and realize that it all has to do with what you were doing 3 to 6 months ago. So if it is robust and full and you have a super strong pipeline full of ideal clients, look back 3 to 6 months and see what that daily activity looks like. If you have a pipeline that is dry and scary looking, and you feel like, what am I going to do today to generate a sale tomorrow? Look back 3 to 6 months and see what you were not doing on a daily basis.
That is so fascinating. Now, when you talk like that, I have to ask, um, that means that there is like a runway or I think I've heard it said that there's a sales
Yes.
cycle. Um, and I've also heard it said that recently, at least in this year, somehow the economy has changed in such a way that this sales cycle has lengthened, or it takes more time for people to make a decision. Is that true, or is that a perception that we're being sold?
I think that's something that people tell themselves to feel better about poor performance. Um, I don't
Aha.
rely on what
So,
the economy is. And I watch the news every day, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm informed.
sure.
Um, but I also understand that my actions are what drive my business, my intentions, my strategy, my alignment. And so some of the best times in my business have been economically some of the worst, and some of the best times in my business have been economically some of the best as well. I It does not matter, but it is a wonderful excuse for poor
I love that.
performance and poor choices.
Okay, everybody, listen
Right.
up. Listen up.
It's true. Doesn't it feel good? Well, I
Yeah.
can't do anything because the economy. I can't because of this. Like, you're letting yourself off the hook.
Yeah. I think that is really important. Anyone listening today to Jennifer, I think it is wonderful for you to then say, it doesn't matter. I mean, we are in a
Mhm.
bull market. We've been in a bull market, raging bull market for the last 24 months and actually for the last 12 years. So there are amazing amounts of um, increasing sales quarter by quarter by quarter by quarter, year by year by year by year. It does not matter what industry you are in. What it matters, as Jennifer is alluding to here, is that you have to have, first of all, the right attitude, not make excuses, but you have to be able to make sure that you have the quality of a pipeline of customers moving through. And now, Jennifer, let's talk about this word
Okay.
pipeline. You are an expert at helping entrepreneurs, small businesses, medium sized businesses, and large businesses create a pipeline of customers in such a way that is a rather disruptive way. Could you speak about that? I know that you have built your reputation, your business, and the growth of your company on this idea of how to create a pipeline of customers that is that will really revolutionize the way that we feel about our own
Yeah.
entrepreneurship.
I mean, essentially, we take the most uncomfortable part of the sales process away from our clients and we handle it for them. So, at
That's
Appreciated Asset, we create, build, and fill sales pipelines for industry disruptors. And we do that with a concierge level, done for you appointment setting service. We set new business appointments for our clients with their prospect wish list. And we do that consultatively, which is quite disruptive. No one else does it this way. Rather than
Yep.
calling from your business, pitching you and selling you and pretending we work for you, we don't. It never occurred to me to do it this way. We call from Appreciated Asset, we recommend you and we educate them and we introduce you and we connect to you.
So it's like a third party, it's almost like a third party sale, or somebody speaking about me, for example, by means of someone else speaking, it's giving my credentials, and that third party speaking and educating about the services that I provide, for example, just is so much more uh, enlightening, and people actually listened. Am I right about that? They listen, as opposed to me always be the one, telling you about how great I am
Yes.
and so forth. You have a third party and this is what you do for entrepreneurs. You craft uh, a group of people,
Right.
right?
And
That, or a
yeah,
staff.
and like I mentioned, we only, we vet our clients. So we only bring on clients that we do recommend. We've had prospects come through that were not the right fit, where we were not comfortable standing behind that business and putting our name behind
Hmm.
them. So we work with clients that are heavily vetted, that we know are going to deliver in the way that they promise to. And
Of course.
yeah, I train my staff the same way that I train myself, that I learn myself. It's not for us to memorize scripts. It's not for us to read scripts, God forbid. It's for us to really internalize these solutions and really truly understand what our clients do and what value proposition they bring to their prospects. And then reach out with the enthusiasm of we know we're about to make someone's day.
And doesn't it feel good when everything works together for the higher appreciation of all involved, whether the appreciation of the sales moment, the buyer, the buyer becomes enhanced by means of the transaction, and the buyer becomes enhanced not only by means of the transaction but by means of the relationship, which is, I think, the one thing that you train your staff so beautifully on. And I want everybody to know that alone is
Mhm.
disruptive. What Jennifer does with her staff is that they are in it to win it by means of building long term relationships, which then creates long term
Yeah.
value. And you can take that to the bank. Am I right,
Absolutely.
Jennifer?
You mentioned, I know you love the word appreciate, so I will mention this, that our tagline is what you appreciate appreciates. And
What you
you
appreciate
alluded to it,
appreciates. I
but
love
it is true.
that.
Wherever you put your focus, that is what grows. So wherever you are putting attention and creating energy, that's what will create more. You talked about the economy. You focus on a bad economy, and that's what you are, looking at every day. Well, what do you think is going to grow in your life? For more reasons to show your brain that you're right. If you focus on your business and your growth and your opportunities and your potential, what do you think is going to happen? Because neurologically, and I'm no neurologist, but I will tell you this, I've learned this, that our brains seek to make sure that we are right. They seek out information in front of us. So if you
That's right.
decide things are going to be good, your brain will keep looking for signals that you are correct. I challenge you to do that. Isn't that a better way to spend your day than deciding that
Yes,
everything's
it
out of your
is.
control?
And not only that, but what just came to me just now as you were speaking, Jennifer, is um, if it's true, and we know it is, that what you appreciate appreciates, how would you like everyone who's listening? How would you like and would you love to appreciate your sales structure in such a way that you then start to say, I love selling. I love my sales staff. I love the part of my business that is the sales. Would you love to be able to say that? And if so, I think you need to call Jennifer right away when we get off the phone here today. Call Jennifer right away, because if you would love to go from however you're feeling about your sales now to appreciating and loving how you are navigating your life by means of sales and really succeeding in life by means of higher sales and succeeding sales and appreciating sales, then that is why I'm so excited to bring Jennifer Frye to you today, because I'm wanting to up level your life, to up level the quality of your entrepreneurship, and up level then therefore the amount of money that you're making at the end of the day, so that you can up level the portfolios, that you can up level your investment idea, and that you can up level your life. And I know that we're almost out of time, Jennifer, but um, could you speak a final word a little bit about something that you and I both love, and we've talked about it before, and that is empowering women. We are both women in a male dominated world, and as we know, sales has always been a male dominated world at first, and women are doing amazing jobs. We have been for decades, and I think that now more than ever we are making strides forward in the corporate world, on the entrepreneurship world, in the investment world, and then finally as philanthropists as well. I know that you have a philosophy that women can do it all. And we're talking a little bit about that. Can we end with appreciating that part of ourselves whereby we women are really, we're stepping up. And those of us who are wanting to share this good news with others, I think that this is what we're doing together here today. What do you think?
So I think that it is absolutely critical that as women, we are able to financially take care of ourselves and our children. I am on a mission to build a team where that is possible for everyone on my team. I am a single mom to my 11-year-old child, Max. I have been since he was 5, in the middle of COVID. Um,
Yeah,
Look, when we have financial independence, we can make choices in our lives. We have agency over our own lives, and we have freedom of choice. Because I was able to take care of myself and Max, I was able to exit a unsafe, unhealthy, toxic marriage and keep myself and my child. It, Nothing changed in our day-to-day lives, except there created a lot more peace, um, and a lot less stress. But in terms of lifestyle, nothing changed for us. It only improved. And I want every woman to have that level of freedom in their lives. And I think it's critical that we do. I think
absolutely.
that the idea of I'm not good with numbers and he does that and I don't know what our mortgage is. if you're in a wonderful marriage and relationship or partnership, go for it. Like, I'm super, super happy for you. But you need to know your numbers. You need to know what's going on, what is where. Dumb is not cute. Let's eradicate that, please, from the narrative and really take ownership of our role and educate ourselves. So if you don't know, if you're unsure, if you are, ask someone like Lynn. She is an incredible advocate for women, and happy to educate people about areas that they don't know. And some of the best things you can do is say, I don't know about this. Can you tell me? Learn, right?
Exactly. I thank you so much because we stand together elbow to elbow to, to help empower women. And I love it when you said, it's not a good enough. It's it's not acceptable to say I don't feel comfortable with math and so forth. And it's the same thing with sales. It's not acceptable to say I don't like sales. I don't like to sell. It's not acceptable anymore. This is how we grow. This is how we add value. This is how, I mean, you're selling, even when you mentioned you're a single mother with an 11-year-old son, uh, you're selling every day to, help him grow and help him make choices that help his life uh, prosper and grow. And you know what? This is why I'm so excited to have someone of Jennifer Frye's quality, not only in her skill set of helping everyone become better in sales, but also the underpinnings, the why, the for sake of what. For the sake of what are we doing any of this? For the sake of what? And it is for the sake of growth, for the sake of strength, for the sake of advancement, and it's for the sake of creating a legacy with everything that we do, every sale that we make, every person that we can influence and leave a better life beyond for our children and our children's children. So, Jennifer, how could anyone who's listening, and I know that there's someone here that needed to hear this today, how can they reach out to
Uh,
you when they want help with sales, creating a better, stronger entrepreneurial sales enterprise for
Sure.
themselves?
So we're on all the socials at Appreciated Asset. You can go to our website, which is appreciatedasset.com. From there, you can contact us a few different ways. You can get on my calendar, or you can just send an email and a message. You can join our mailing list. Whatever feels right to you, go for it. And I welcome any conversations in this entire space. I am obsessed with it. I've built my career around it and welcome any discussion.
Well, you are an absolute delight and a gem. Thank you so much for being here on Money Talks today, Jennifer. And everyone, please call Jennifer Frye. And we will put all of those links in the show notes below so that everyone can reach out to you, Jennifer. And let's appreciate our lives so that everything in our lives appreciates and that we have a higher, greater opportunity to give more, be more, and become more for a better life going forward. Are you in for that? Yes, yes. Let's say yes,
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 yes.
Jennifer. Yes, yes. Thanks so much, Jennifer, for
Thank
being with
you.
us.
This is a great space, an incredible conversation. So thank you for the opportunity.
I'm glad you enjoyed it and hope that everyone will come back for the next episode of Money Talks. Bye for now, everyone. Bye.